Welcome to Locked On Senators, where we are doing expansive 2023 NHL Draft coverage, and another honorable mention outside of our top 50 that we want to focus on today is goaltender Jacob Fowler of the Youngstown Phantoms.
Yes, I love covering tendies, Ross, especially come draft period. And this is a tendy that all you need to do to get excited about him, Ross, is look at his stats from last season and especially last playoffs. And this guy is a winner, winning the USHL championship with the Youngstown Phantoms. And right here, if you're watching on YouTube, which you are, in 40 games played, he had a 27-9-3 record, a 2.28 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage, and throw in 5 shutouts too, just for good measure.
And then somehow it got even better once the postseason started. On his way to that Clark Cup championship, you see the great trophy, by the way.
Awesome trophy.
9 games, an 8-1 record with a 136 goals against average and a 952 save percentage. This guy was dominant. Only 1 shutout as well. How many games did he let in more than 1 goal during that playoff run? Well, I've got the answer for you, Pilsy. It was once. They lost 5-2 to Chicago in game 2 of that series and bounced right back and won the next 2 games. He allowed 1 goal in all but 3 playoff games. And in one of the games, he got a shutout. So is that all right? And the shutout got them the championship, a 1-0 win to take home the championship trophy.
Wow. Ross, as a goalie, being in a game with that high stakes and it's a 1-0 game, you have to have great mental confidence, because in your head, I don't know about you, Ross, but when I was playing and it was a tight game like that, you're like, I can't be the one to let my team down. I can't let 1 goal in. I can't let this happen. So good on him for standing strong. And he's got good size too. When you look at him, 6'2", 212 pounds. And he really uses that size. What I liked most about going through Jacob Fowler's scouting reports is that EP touts his explosive lateral movement. And if you watch some of his highlights, you can see this clearly, because there was a highlight where I saw he was down and out, then the puck went across the crease and he had to dive over, and he made an explosive lateral play like they talked about. But the thing is, the player that caught the puck on the other side of that crease was patient. So he had to stay with them, and then he gets his glove up and makes the glove save. It was a huge save. So this is the kind of goalie where, sure, maybe he's not one of those Martin Brodeur, perfectly positionally sound, so all the pucks just hit him. But he uses that power so that if he does find himself out of position or the play changes from what he thinks it is, he can get over there quick, and he can still take up a lot of surface area, not giving the shooter a lot to look at.
This is a hot take, but for me, he's the best goalie in this NHL draft. We haven't dove completely into the pool yet with the Trey Augustines of the world. You've got a few other names at the top of the board. You got Michael Hrabal as well, who's been playing in the USHL, but the reigning playoff MVP, the champion, the guy who's just put up video game numbers at every single level. He's one of those guys. He's from Florida, by the way. We probably waited too long to mention he's from Florida. And this is just showing kind of the expansiveness of NHL draft prospects coming from everywhere. But he knew that at 16, he had to get somewhere where he could be a little bit closer to higher competition. So they go to South Kent School, which Sens fans can now know. I don't expect anyone to know. But when I clicked on the school, I was like, oh, where is it? Where'd he go from? Florida. And it's like proud alumni, Shane Pinto. So it's on Long Island. So he's able to, go up there, play great in the 2 seasons, right? A 945 save percentage in 22 games the first year, 928 in the second. And that second year, right after he joined the Phantoms after his school year, plays 18 games and has a 927 save percentage. This guy, everywhere he's gone, the lowest save percentage on record for him going back to 15 years old was this year at 921. Pilsy, does that mean that he's over the hill? No, that means this guy is absolutely ridiculous and the skill is absurd. And for me, he's the best goalie prospect in this draft class.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a deep dive on the other guys, but he's definitely is looking really good to me. And Ross, I'm of the mind that each team should draft 1 goalie every draft, no matter what. Like, goalies are such a lottery pick. It's so hard to tell, especially young goalies. Like, a lot of tendies, they don't really figure themselves out till they're mid, late 20s. So it's so hard to be like, this 17-year-old in 8 years is going to be good. So it's very hard. And I believe taking a chance on Jacob Fowler would not be that high of a risk, as he's only shown, like you mentioned, that he can get it done every single year. And when you're looking at development for players, going to a good school is also a good sign that they're going to get good development. He is joining all of those top tier talents from the U.S. program at Boston College.
Yeah, so talk about a team that could be stacked. Now, I'm not sure what their situation is in goal, whether or not he's going to get a chance to start right away. But we also know that like Corey Schneider went there, Thatcher Demko, Spencer Knight, a first-round pick from a few years ago, all went to Boston College. So they've got a track record in developing players at that position. When I look at goalies, I look at three things. Number one, athleticism. If you're not athletic, you're not going to make it. Number two, competitiveness. How much are you battling for rebounds? How's your rebound control? How quick, when you push the puck into a corner, how quick are you tracking it, getting up on your power leg and going right at there, getting set square for the puck? And the third thing, and it kind of goes with the competitiveness aspect, but when the games get bigger, when the pressure gets mounted, how are you able to step up? And there's no more acing a test than he did in the Clark Cup playoffs. So for that reason,
he was perfect.
He was perfect. Yeah. Literally one hiccup in that 5-2 loss game 2 in the second round against Chicago Steel. That's it. Other than that, he was about as perfect as you can be, and perfect looks good to me. So I would hope that the Senators can somehow squeak their way. But if you're watching this right after your team took Jacob Fowler and you took him anywhere in the second round, I won't even be surprised if he's one of the first picks off the board in the second round. Ooh. I really think that it's that. Like, I know he's rated a lot in the 70s. And right. A lot of the outlets think, hey, start of the third round, like where Levi Marilainen went. Sure. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying, like, I think that there's going to be a bit of maybe recency bias, but if he aces all of his interviews and you figure what a competitive kid it has to take to put up those numbers in those situations, I think that team's going to fall in love with him and see him as their goalie of the future.
Yep, and I don't doubt any of that. I definitely think there's a chance for that. And the thing with Fowler, just one kind of negative is when you're a guy that's touted for your explosive lateral movements, that usually means that you're out of position sometimes because you need to resort to doing that. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I am anticipating with a little bit more development, Boston College, a great spot to play. I think he's going to be able to kind of shape out some of those kinks, and he's going to be more positionally sound. And then he will only have to use those explosive movements on like 2-on-1s or power when his team's on the penalty kill and things like that. So I like Jacob Fowler a lot. I give him 4 stars, Ross. I like him.
I like him a lot. He's close to a 5-star guy for me. He's my favorite goalie in this upcoming draft. And no spoilers, but you know there's more draft profiles on Locked On Senators YouTube. I forgot to change the background, so for a while, everyone had seen NHL Draft profile. Andrew Strathman, who's coming up next, teammate with Youngstown Phantoms, but you can head over to Locked On Senators, up to 70 NHL Draft profiles this year. We love digging our teeth into the draft, following the experts and teaching for when your team takes a player like Jacob Fowler.